Sorry about my late arrival to this live. I had to go to the bathroom. Sometimes a girl just needs to go before she's live for over an hour, you know? Um, well, I am so excited to have you here on a Tuesday for our Monday Live on a Tuesday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. It has been quite a weekend for us. Excuse me. I went to a demonstrator event that Stampin' Up had for demonstrators in the Wisconsin area. And so I kind of at the last minute decided to go, and luckily there was space for me. And that was super fun on Friday. And I took my bestie out for dinner for her birthday, and we went to the Red Ox Supper Club in, I don't know if that was in Menasha or if that was in Appleton, but anyway, it was so good. Oh my gosh. So I had a delightful steak, and Kelly had, what did she have? She had like 3 different kinds of fish. I can't remember the kind. I want to say halibut, but I don't think that's right. Anyway, so that was super yummy. And then I got dessert, thinking we'd take it home and have it later, but I was still so full I didn't have it. So I had it for breakfast on Saturday because like there's nothing like having breakfast for, or dessert for breakfast. So, did I get an old fashioned? I did not. Those are icky. I don't like old fashions. I got a lovely glass of wine though, and Kelly had, of course, she had an old fashioned. I should have had a taste of it because I know she likes how they make them. She said it was really strong though. Anyway, so that was super fun. No, it wasn't walleye. It started with an H. What's another fish that starts with an H? Halibut. I'm pretty sure it's an H. Anyway, like you could pick it like all these different ways that they prepare it. So she was very happy with her dinner. I was haddock. That's right. Thank you. You got it. Good job, guys. Can you tell I don't like fish? So this is really funny. She was asking me. I wish I did like fish because I know it's so good for you. The mercury free kind, anyway. When I was in high school, 30-ish years ago, or more. That's sad. Um, wait, how old am I? Yeah, it was more than 30 years ago. When I was in high school, we dissected sharks. Okay. And when you dissect a shark for, I don't even know how long it was, over a period of time, let's just say, I'm going to go with at least a few weeks, the smell really just goes downhill quickly. And I really kind of hate the smell of all things fish. So, and the funny thing is, like, I grew up and I remember catching walleyes with my grandparents. Um, and they would, like, I would help clean them and we would fry them, like, at the cabin, my grandparents' cabin on the lake. And it was super cool. But it is really a bad smell that 30 some years later I still like can't handle. So yeah, I don't like fish. But the steak, it was delightful. It was a little raw for me in the center. I like it like pink but not breathing still, if you know what I mean. Also, if you are a vegetarian, I apologize, but it was so good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that smell just has never left me. And then I want to say at some point or another, I got sick eating fish as well. And that kind of stuck with me a little bit too. You know, there's certain things that you just kind of can't let go in life. Smells are definitely one of them. So anyway, oh, Barbara was at the event we had in Appleton. It was a lot of fun. I it reminded me, if you guys are or are demonstrators or were demonstrators when we had regionals, it reminded me of that. It was so much fun. It was a nice small group. It was like 100-ish people, so it was small enough that you kind of got to mingle a little bit with people. I wasn't really sure how many people I would know, but it turns out there was quite a few, so that was really fun. The presentations were so good. Kelly did a presentation. She did a great job. And one of her team members did a really nice presentation, Sarah, which was great. Then there was a couple presentations from the home office people that were there that were great. I mean, it was a really good day. And that, oh, then the other thing they had that was fun was they had like little demonstrations around the room, so you could kind of walk around, and there were demonstrators who were demonstrating something like a technique, or like one gal had like how to use memory memories workshop kit. What are those called? Our scrapbooking kit. How to use those to make cards. So that was really fun. Anyway, it was a lot of good stuff, which was wonderful. So after that, I drove from the place, this was happening in Appleton, to our cabin, which was about 4 hours. And I drove through a big, huge storm in Madison. Like, I wanted to pull over, but I didn't think it was going to be safe to do that because it was pouring so hard. And so I just followed the taillights in front of me. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. And we, well, I got to my cabin at about like 10 or 10:30 after kind of a lot of white knuckle driving, and seeing deer. And when you drive at night, that always makes me nervous. Anyway, I got there and my husband was asleep on the couch. The dogs were asleep on the floor, and I got in there and we all went to sleep. And then I dreamt that my phone was ringing. And then I opened my eyes and realized my phone was ringing. It was on vibrate, and it was my son calling at 2:30 in the morning. Oh, by the way, when I was leaving the event in Appleton, he told me that a tornado was headed for our house. So luckily, he's prone to being a little bit exaggeration-y when he tells his stories. But anyway, so I had heard that like the house was still there, so that was good. But it poured like a lot, and we had gotten rain like the night before, and the the power went out. So he woke up at 2:30 in the morning, and he woke up all hot and sweaty, so it must have been out for a while. His room's upstairs, so it for sure would be the first to get warm in the house. Anyway, so he wakes up and he can hear like an alarm going off, and he's trying to figure out what it is. So he goes downstairs where the alarm is coming from, and it's our sump pump alarm. And then he realizes that the power was out, so the sump pump alarm was going off. And so he's like talking to me, and I can't even understand what he's saying. I'm just like so confused because I'm still like really kind of out of it because I was probably in deep sleep at that point. So I like wake my husband up, and I'm like, here, you talk to him because I'm trying to figure out what's happening. Anyway, so our sump pumps were off, and we have a backup generator in our house, which we're very fortunate to have. So he got the generator started, but I looked at my husband and I said, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to sleep. And then I went online to see like, okay, is this just our house, or is like, do other people have power out? So I went on our little community, or our little neighborhood Facebook group, and like I have two neighbors saying they're trying to bail water out of their basement, like they can't keep up with the buckets. And I thought, oh my gosh, we got to go home right now. We got to go home right now. All of my business is in the basement. And so at 2:30 in the morning, my husband and I drove our separate vehicles home. So we got home at 5:30 in the morning, and as we were, the sun is just coming up, and as we're exiting, it was really spooky because like everything was still dark because the power was out at like at our exit, and it wasn't the whole area, but long story short, we are very fortunate. Everything was dry in our house. He got the generator was on to keep the sump pump going, and our sump pumps have been pumping ever since, multiple times a day. So we got a ton of rain, and I think more rain is coming tomorrow. But we're very fortunate. There's areas just a couple miles from here that were tremendously flooded, like cars underwater flooded. So we're really, really fortunate that that did not happen to us. And I think my neighbors are okay. They never posted any. I don't know the ones that were said they were bailing water. We've got one neighbor that has like it could rain a quarter of an inch in his basement. He has like a constant stream of water coming out. But anyway, I don't know what it is, but we're safe and we drove home, so we felt good about it. But I was so tired. So, and actually, the funny thing is, right as we pulled up, literally into our driveway, the flash of light came on and the power showed up just as we're pulling into the driveway. And my husband was like, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I think the power just came back on." Anyway, that was really nice. The crew, the line guys were out on our road as we were driving in, so I knew they were working on it. But anyway, it was fascinating how the whole day went down. But we had a really great, a really great non weekend, I guess. I shouldn't say non-weekend. We just didn't do what we were thinking we were going to do. Yes, there was a tornado. It did not hit us, but it hit really close to us. I haven't heard a ton of damage reports. I think there's a lot more about flooding um, than the tornado itself, but there was a tornado did hit. So, oh my gosh, Sherry says, "Do you love how I'm like reading?" Um, Tons of 12 inches of rain in a matter of minutes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Our flash flooding was crazy too. Oh, Kelly started to tell the story, but didn't want to steal my thunder. Yeah, I don't know how much thunder that was, but Patricia, you live in Dubuque and you got 8.5 inches on Friday. Holy buckets. That's a lot. I know the river, I think, is full. We have like these two ponds like adjacent to our neighborhood that are like take the water. They're like a water control, whatever, I don't know. And they were very full of water when we walked the dogs. So anyway, yes, very fortunate. I know there's just been so much weather all over the country, and my heart just is with all the people who've had it so much worse. I know here there was I don't think like anybody was like injured or killed or anything, but there was, I'm sure, plenty of damage from all that flash flooding. It was pretty crazy. I had just crazy pictures, but again, so much devastation is going on in other places. So I'm not going to dwell too much on our little neck of the woods, but I hope wherever you are that you are safe and dry. I do have some fun projects for us to do today. Yay. And I hope that you're going to like them. And I have some things coming up this week I'm just so excited about, or coming up in the next week that I'm so excited about. First off, we have Watercolor Week is happening all of next week. I will share, I think I sent out an email to my team today, but tomorrow I will send out an email to all of my customer list. So if you're not on my customer list, make sure and join. There should be a link in the description of this video. So Watercolor Week is going to be a week of videos. Most of them will be live. One, maybe two. I said one might need to turn into a pre-recorded video, but anyway, we are going to just learn and have fun playing with watercolor. I have discovered, I think I've talked about this before, that I spend way too much time scrolling through my phone. And so I love having some watercoloring to keep me busy, keep my hands busy, and keep me from constantly scrolling through my phone. And I think this is going to be so much fun. We are going to have just the best time with Watercolor Week. It is really going to be an amazing event. The videos are free and open to everybody until July 31st. And then after that, you can have access one of three ways. You can order the PDF and all of the video links will be in there. You can be, if you're a subscriber to Paint with Dina or Stencil Club, you will get the PDF. All of that will be posted in the Stamp with Dina website. Or if you order the watercolor kit. So I've got a kit of fun supplies. Gosh, do I have it in here? I don't think I do, but I'm going to do a quick little video showing what is included. There's all kinds of fun stuff. We are going to work in a little sketchbook and practice, and then we're going to also have some pieces that you can turn into cards or frame or whatever you want to do. It is going to be so much fun. We have I just have all kinds of fun things planned. I've been working on this for quite a while. Actually, what kinds of things I could do. The only supplies that you need to have are some kind of paint. So whether you have watercolor paints or ink pads and reinkers, you can use those. This is the little watercolor palette that I've put together. It's so amazing. The color, there's pastel colors, and then there's some bright colors in here. These are all the colors that you can see. They're wonderful for coordinating with our Stampin' Up! Colors, as well as just bright, happy colors, because you know that's what I'm all about. And you can get this palette from me too, by the way. It is a lovely palette, and it might not look like a lot of paint, but I've actually been using this for several months, and I have yet to run out of any of the colors. One of my favorite colors I've been using a lot of, but I still haven't run out of it. The paint lasts a very, very, very long time, which is wonderful. And if you were to buy the tubes for this, because watercolor paint comes in tubes. Do I have one handy? Probably not. The tubes would cost like $360. So yeah. Mary asked, will I list the colors? Of course, Mary. I would never, ever let you hang without the names of the colors. Absolutely. So we'll go through all of that. If you don't want to use the paint, or maybe you're not sure you want to dive into this, that's okay. You can use your ink pads and reinkers. Those work really nicely for, whoa, what are you doing with that?
I'm stealing it for 10 seconds.
Okay, will you bring that back? Okay, I bought him his own heat tool. He lost it.
Yep, and I lost it.
Lost it. I know where you can buy another one. I'll give you a link to my online store. I probably shouldn't do that because he does a lot of good things for me in my business. I should probably just buy him another heat tool. Okay. Anyway, so where was I? Oh, so Watercolor Week. You can use whatever stamps you want. You will need either a StazOn black ink pad, or maybe you could heat emboss your image, so that the ink doesn't blend or bleed, the outline of the stamp. So basically any outline image will work great. We are going to watercolor a card today because I just have to get your taste buds wet with watercoloring. And I think that's going to be our second card according to my stack of paper here. And then we will use just like watercolor paper. So if you have some of that. Now, if you don't have any of those things and would like to get a little kit, I have a fabulous kit that has all kinds of fun little treasures in it. again, I'm going to do a little like intro video about it. I won't show everything that comes in the kit because I want there to be some surprises, but I will show you a little sampling of what's happening. Oh, and he's plugging it in and everything. Thank you, because I need that actually for one of my projects today. It has returned. Thank you. Noted. I appreciate you. All right. So anyway, guys, I am, ooh, it's warm. I am going to flip my camera and then we will get started. Actually, I have a few more things to show you. I've got some cards to show you too that came in my mailbox that always makes me happy. Let's see. Sorry about all the jiggliness. Okay. Excuse me. Got some cards. All right. So as mentioned, Watercolor Week, and can I just show off for a second? See this piece of paper? I'm going to raise it up a little bit. So I will teach you how to paint this. This is a piece of paper that I painted, and it is what I created this background from. So I took a picture of it, and then I created a graphic with this. So I'm feeling quite proud of myself about that. So this is a Dina original on here, which I just love. And I don't think you can possibly appreciate this in the photo, but there is some metallic business in there. It's a lot of fun. So there's that. Okay, so Watercolor Week is all week next week. The first live is going to be Monday after this live, not like immediately. I'm going to take a little break and then we'll come back at 7 p.m. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And then, yeah, so watch for that. Oh, I was going to say, if you get registered, then you'll get all the links to everything and all the information and reminders each day. And so that will help you. If you don't want to register, that's okay. But you won't get any reminders. So I think you should register. And then, of course, if you want to buy a kit, that's always appreciated, or the PDF, because the PDF will live on forever. All right. This month, we have our Charming Day online class coming out at the end of the month. The cards are amazing, you guys. They're so beautiful. Oh, my goodness. I love this this little collection of goodies that came out just this month. So if you're not registered, we would love to have you join the fun. There is a link in the description of this video. And then I gotta bring my camera down so that you can't see the ugly edge of my table. Okay. Ordering from the Creativity Cave. Oh my goodness, ordering is so amazing. I really appreciate when you order from me. You get all kinds of awesome perks when you order with me at the Creativity Cave. Of course, you get Stampin Rewards from Stampin Up on all orders of $20 or more. You get a PDF from me when you spend $50 or more. And sorry, I did that in the wrong order. When you spend $35 or more, you get invited to our Stamp Happy Party, which happens the second Tuesday of the month. And we have a lot of fun. We learned a lot during this last month's Stamp Happy Party, I must say. I had a mind-blowing tip and trick that I learned that I did not know. So it was really fun. So join us. We will have a good time. You can get that Stamp Happy Party if you are a subscriber to Stamp Happy Academy, or of course, if you spend $35 the month before. So if you want to join next month's, place an order in my online store this month. All right. And then the All-Star Video Class Bundle PDF this month is a beauty. It is the Florals in Bloom. And oh my, the projects are so pretty, you guys. They're really, really lovely cards. And I think you'll be happy to get this PDF. You can also purchase it for $15 in my online store. Speaking of Stamp Happy Academy, I don't know if you knew this, but it's pretty awesome. We post an online class each month. This month is the Charming Day online class. We also have 3 exclusive lives each month, actually 4. one each for Barb Kelly, from Barb Kelly and I. It's like a supersized Monday Live. It's all about teaching you color combinations, how to make cards faster, layouts, as well as techniques. It's pretty awesome. And then once a month, we do that Stamp Happy Party where all three of us are together. And of course, you know what happens when the three of us are together. We have a good time. This month's Sunshine and Creativity Delivered box needs to be subscribed by July 31st to get the August box. And I think that's everything. Our online exclusives, we're going to use, I think, actually, much of our projects today are online exclusives. Okay, next up, I've got some cards that came in the mail that I wanted to share with you. This first one, I love this one. It uses that delightful wishes with kind of a fall palette instead of a spring palette, which I think is kind of fun. This is from Lisa, who's just a gem. So thank you so much for this sweet card. I love it. Very kind of you. And then look at this fun 4th of July card. I thought this was so clever. This one came from Michelle, and it is just so sweet. I loved the adding of the red to make it a USA card for the 4th of July. So thank you so much for that. I also got this one. This was a cutie patootie from Jacqueline. This is some nice oldie but goodie DSP. So that was really fun to see. So thank you for that. And then last but not least, I received this card. Oh my gosh, this card came with some treasures. Let's see. I recently purchased a freeze dryer. I was tired of wasting food, so I wanted to share a couple of samples. I would have brought the samples down here to show you, except I think we've eaten all of them now. this package came, I think, yesterday. So, well, I shouldn't say there's still a little left, but yeah, we've already been hitting them hard, Kathy. So thank you so much. And I love this beautiful card, watercolored, of course. Love it. So thank you, Kathy. I appreciate the card and the treats. We enjoyed them. Okay, so for our first card, I have been itching to use the Coneflower Celebrations. I actually recently purchased this bundle, and this is going to be the first card that I've made with it. But I think it's kind of pretty, and I hope that you guys are going to like it. I love the colors that I've picked for this one, and they're kind of sometimes... or I should say they're some of my favorites, not the favorite, but some of my favorites. So this, we're going to start with an early espresso card base. Okay, so Coneflowers, I'm just going to trying to find a way I can keep it in frame because people always ask me what set I'm using. Can you see that? Kind of. Okay. So we'll give this card a good press. And then, by the way, did I mention the links are all in the description of this video? I think I probably did. Okay, so early espresso card base, folded that in half. Then I've got, I don't know, roughly let's measure this. 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 piece of crumb cake. And crumb cake and early espresso, always a good idea. And this one is embossed with this new folder. And I know you're going to ask me what it is, and I'm going to say I have no idea because it's true. Let's see if I can tell you what it is. Assuming it's in the catalog. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. Embossing folders, 109. Okay. It is an online exclusive, so it's not in here. I can't tell you. Anyway, it's a very lovely, I think this goes with the Impressions of Bloom, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know. I'm not smart. I need, I think some people label their embossing folders, and I don't, because I'm dumb, and I just need to do that. I think I should anyway. Because then I would know That would be smart. Okay, so I've got a 4 by 5 1/4 of Berry Burst cardstock that I'm going to attach that to, and it does match my nails. Thanks for noticing. Okay, so we've got this on here like so, and it's just so pretty. Okay, and then what's really, oh, thank you, Deborah. Pressed Flowers, that's the name of this. Oh, that's a catchy name, isn't it? Now, what's nice is this stamp set has all kinds of sentiments in here, and one of my favorites that says happy belated birthday. I don't know about you, but I'm always like a little late with my cards. I might make a lot of cards, but I rarely get them out the door on time. So I'm loving this. And then on the inside, I'm sorry I missed your special day. Let's extend the celebration, which I love the sentiment of that. Okay, so we're going to take that and add happy belated birthday to the front of our card. And I'm going to do that in some early espresso ink. Okay. There we go. So pretty. Now I die cut 2 of these cone flowers, and I'm going to take and flip one like this, and that is to kind of create a little bit more dimension. And I don't know, I could maybe even die cut another one. But what I'm going to do is kind of just label them offset from one another. So I flipped it over so the wrong side is facing up, and then I'm going to glue the right side facing correctly to the, yeah, you get what I'm saying, right? Because I can't get the words out. So I want these to be just a tad offset from one another so that it looks like a more full flower. Okay, but don't worry if this is not lining up perfectly, because we're going to put the big thing over the top and it won't matter. The center of the cone flower, you know, the big thing. Am I telling that right? The big thing. I know that is like a official terminology. Okay, so there we go. And you could, because you know me, I like to kind of curl the leaves a little bit, or the petals, I should say. Also, I love painting cone flowers, but that's another story. Okay, so there we go. So gorgeous. And this also has a stamp, so you could stamp this and watercolor it too. It would be amazing. Okay, now I want to put this on my card, so I'm going to pop that up. Let's get out the first of what I'm sure will be many sheets of dimensionals pulled out. And I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals, like 3 to be exact, on here to pop this up onto my card. But note, I'm leaving a lot of space here because I'm gonna stick a stem under here. Now I did stamp and die cut my stem ahead of time, you know, so you didn't have to watch me do this. So I just stamped the stem in Old Olive ink on Old Olive cardstock, and we're gonna glue dot this baby right underneath this flower. So I'll put a couple glue dots on here because glue dots are just like stamping magic. Okay, and I feel like that looks pretty good. Like that. And then we'll trim off the excess. Oh, so pretty. I love that this is a really nice big flower. It like takes up the whole, like the whole thing, if you know what I mean. Okay. Sorry, I'm reading my comments. You should not read comments and try to cut something at the same time. That's not going to end well for anybody. Okay. Additionally, I did stamp and die cut the leaves for this. Again, I did that ahead of time so you didn't have to watch this process unfold. And I love the way they did the leaves because they're kind of directional. So, ooh, look at how pretty that is. Oh, so nice. All right. So, oops, don't lose your leaf, Dina. So I'm going to curl, give that a little curl because, you know, I can't hardly help myself. And I'll just stick one right there. Curl this one. You know, I know the second I put this in an envelope and put it in the mail, it is going to flatten out. But I will know that I did everything I could to make it fancy in the meantime. Okay, so there's that. All right, now I'm going to adhere that to my card. Doesn't that look pretty? Oh, so gorgeous. Okay, but wait, before we do that, I'm going to take, sorry, I'm looking for it. I'm going to take the linen. This is actually not linen thread. It's baker's twine from the Essentials baker's twine. Because of linen thread, I never used the crumb cake color of this. So we're going to today. So I'm just doing a double length, and then I'm going to tie a little bow here. And we're going to add that to our card. Like so. And you can see you need a double length on your card here so that it shows up on this big honkin' flower. Okay. There we go. Oh, that is pretty. Okay, I'm going to stick that to the front of my card, and then we're going to make the inside pretty as well. Okay, so there we go. So nice. I feel like some spritzing is in order on this because, I mean, that just makes everything better. So we'll just, oh yeah, got some good spritzes here. Look at that shimmer. So gorgeous. Okay, now on the inside of our card, I have the same 2 layers as the front, and we are going to do a little stamping on here. So we've got this crumb cake panel, and you can stamp in crumb cake, or you could stamp in Versamark. I guess it's kind of up to you. I feel like my crumb cake pad is light enough that I can stamp it on here, but let's just test that. I can't remember how recently I stamped this. I don't want to, so I'm just testing it. Yeah, see, that's pretty dark. But I'm also a little bit afraid that if I stamp it off, it'll be too light. Oh no, that's pretty good. Okay. So we're going to stamp it off because we can write over that. We cannot write over that. That's too much. All right. So we'll just kind of put this on here. Oh, sugar. I almost said a different S word. We'll just flip that over because there's 2 sides. And don't do it again, Dina. Jeez Louise. Here we go. Okay. There's a nice light color. Goodness gracious. Let's clean off my stem. So it's got some olive colored ink on it, and we don't need that. We'll do this stamped off as well on here, and then a leaf or 2. And so I love this. You can just kind of write over these images, which are perfect. Like that. Oh, so pretty. And then, of course, we've got the inside sentiment. So I love it. You guys were yelling at me to stamp it off. Good job. It's nice to know you got my back. Okay. So then I'm just going to stamp this right in the center because then everybody will know, okay, you can write over the top of everything. Oh, so pretty. And then there's also this little butterfly in here. And can we add the butterfly? I think we can. So I'll just stamp that and stamp it off and stamp it right there. So now we have a butterfly. So pretty. Okay, so let's adhere this. We'll close up the ink pads so nobody has to yell at me for that too. And we're going to put this inside our card. But I thought this little peek of our berry burst showing through would be nice. You could also die cut one of each of the flowers from one of this from that layer and one from the center of this layer. You know what I mean? So that you die cut that out of the center. You'll cover it up, but that way you're saving paper. I die cut mine before I decided what my layers were. So, all right, I'm going to attach that to the inside of my card, and then we are going to embellish with some dots. Oh, love it. Sorry, I'm looking for my dots. Oh, found them. Goodness. Goodness. Okay, so I was gonna, so we've several options. We could do, these are textured dots, or there's flower motif dots. These are charming shimmer gems. These would be pretty. Or these are low profile sparkle dots. Those also would be pretty. But I think I'm actually going to, well, oh boy. Oh, maybe I need to use these. You know, I do love a good shimmer gem. So we're going to use these sparkle dots. But as you can see, there's lots of options. I love it when I have options. So I'm going to go ahead and put, oh boy, where do I want to put these dots? Ugh, stress, the stress of where to stick my dots. Put one right there, and there, and there. That's good. Oh, this is so sparkly. Can you see the shimmer? It's really pretty awesome. So I hope you love this beauty. It's just so easy to do, which I just think is wonderful. And oh, can't wait to watercolor that baby up. So I'm sure that will happen during watercolor week, because why wouldn't it? All right. Next up, let's get rid of this pile of gems I just took out. All right, next up, we're going to do a little watercoloring. Oh, I probably should have done that first, so I had some time for things to dry, but it's all right. We're going to make it work. Ooh, glad you guys like that one. It is just such a pretty bundle. I was kind of on the fence about it, and then I decided to go for it, and of course, I'm glad I did. It never really is a bad thing. Oh, also, there's this little, this is in the dies, and this is so cool. I'm really looking forward to playing with that as well. It's like a little border, so you could create a fun little edge on your card with that. All right, next up, we are going to do some watercoloring. Yay! Watercoloring is the best kind of coloring. Oh, but gosh, you know what we need? Water. Okay, give me 1 second. We are going to be using this stamp set, so I'm going to leave that. I'll be right back. Got to grab my water. Oh, it was just behind me. I thought I was going to have to run into the bathroom. Luckily, the bathroom's really close. But, okay, so we're going to use this Prairie Grass stamp set. This is a new online exclusive. I've got a piece of watercolor paper here, and I've also got a paper towel. Remember when I daubed off, I think you guys, this was in my like live recently, I daubed off some ink from a dauber. Never mind, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we are going to create a beautiful background on here. And this is such a beautiful stamp set for this kind of background. All of the images are going to work with this design. And you can see I'm doing a big piece of paper here. We're not going to use the whole thing, but we want to color the whole thing because we can use the leftover in our card on the inside. Okay, so a fluid 100 paper is about 5 by 7 inches. And we want to create a beautiful background. So I want to use some Timid Tiger, some Strawberry Slush, a little Berry Burst, and I think some Darling Duckling. So this is going to give me a beautiful sunrise, sunset, whatever you want it to be. You can get the ink a couple of different ways. You can either squeeze the ink pad to the lid and then you can see we've got color that way. And I'm just going to start, I want yellow on the bottom and then it's going to get darker. Maybe we'll even put some blue on here. I might grab some Misty Moonlight. And actually I want Old Night of Navy. I almost said Old Olive, but I meant Night of Navy. Okay, the other way you can do this is with reinkers. Just as soon as I find mine. Haha. So I can put reinker either here in my ink pad, or I can take a clear block, a clean block, relatively speaking, and dab some on like that. And we're going to add some more water to this, and that will give me a much stronger concentration, as you can see, of that color. Now, whenever you paint with watercolors, it will dry a little bit lighter than it is. So you want to make sure it's plenty dark. Okay, then I'll take some Timid Tiger, and it's kind of up to you. You don't want to put too much reinker in your pads because it can leak out if you tip it the wrong way, because you flip the pad over to store it. So just be aware of that. But now we're going to add, ooh, what is this? What do we have here in the middle? Not sure what that was, but we got rid of it. Okay, and then when you wet your watercolor paper down, that really helps the blending happen quite nicely. And there we go. Then Strawberry Slush. Again, squeeze your ink pad to the lid, pick up that beautiful color and start adding it. I think I was kind of aggressive with the Timid Tiger, but that's all right. You just want to be able to see all those different colors. All right, we've got some Berry Burst. I'm going to go a little light with this one because I don't want it to be too overpowering. And by the way, these don't have to be in straight lines at all. In fact, I'm just kind of blending this around. And you can see I got a drop of water on there. I just blend it out, no biggie. And then I like having the paper towel here so I can kind of clean my brush out. And then Night of Navy. Let's hit that ink pad just a little bit again. Okay, I'm going to make sure I got some water up here because I want everything to blend nicely. Pick up that Night of Navy because she's going to be dark. Oh, gorgeous. Okay. Now, I don't like everything that's happening here, so that's okay. To fix it, we are going to bring in some more color. So I'm going to add some color. You can see I get kind of a purpley color where the Berry Burst and the Night of Navy are mixing, which is glorious. And that's kind of like, when you're driving and the sky is turning dark, this is what you see. Of course, when it's raining, you don't. But sometimes The clouds will show this. Okay, now another thing you can do, and this really helps if you have clean paper towel, which I don't think I have. So we're gonna use some dirty paper towel and it'll be fine. Clean-ish paper towel, how about that? So if I rip this off, on the back side I have clean-ish paper towel. And I'm gonna kind of crumple this up into a ball and then I'm going to dab. And when I do that, I get a little bit of kind of clouds that sort of form. So it's almost like there's clouds happening in here. Now, this is one of the big differences between the ink versus watercolor paint. So watercolor paint will lift a little bit better than this, but we're getting enough and that's good. Okay, and then I do want a little more texture in my sky. I don't want it to be completely even. So I'm going to take a little bit more color and just kind of do some streaks through here, like so. Remember, we're going to trim this and change things up a little bit. So now I'm not putting the streaks in where I put the dabbing. I'm just kind of adding them around, kind of like a hint of clouds in the sky. And I know I have 5 ink pads open right now, but we're going to live dangerously and it's probably going to be okay. Now these will blend in a little bit so they won't be quite as streaky as they look right now, but there we go. Okay, now what we're going to do is let this dry. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. We're going to come back to that card and we're going to do our other card next. Okay, so this is kind of a start it and then come back to it. So let's close these ink pads up so nobody has to yell. Dana, close your pads. I know you probably say that multiple times when you watch me. It'll be okay. Okay, so we're going to come back to prairie grass. And in the meantime, we're going to switch gears and do a little Halloween card. First, we're going to make sure that anything we got on our background table is clean and clear. Okay. Now, our next card features one of the sweetest stinking bundles. There's 2, actually. The Fright Night, which I think is the one I'm using. I don't know if I'm using the other bundle. The other bundle is Spooky Sweet, maybe? Well, we're going to use the Spooky Sweet DSP, so it's probably Spooky Halloween. Where is my Spooky Halloween? Ah, here we go. I'll show you that, but I don't think I'm actually using it. So this is another bundle, and they both of them coordinate with our card. So, or with the DSP, sorry. Okay, so let's start. Now I've got, right here, I've got a 1/4 sheet of basic black cardstock. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then I have a 5 1/4 by 12-inch piece of 2-tone cardstock. Okay, so we're going to score that at 4 and 8 to make a trifold. Okay, so, and then I'm going to give you a little cautionary tale. So my friend Lori makes this super nice lotion, and I put some on earlier today and I got this splotch on my paper. So note, do not put lotion on right before you touch paper. It will not end well. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a crease. And I love that my 2-tone cardstock is 2-toned, because then I can enjoy both shades, oops, of it on my card. Okay, so that's gonna go on here like that. All right, now on the front of my card, I cut out a cute little scene, This is the designer series paper, and let's see, we want it like this. And I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to cover up that splotch, and I am. Okay. So I want to use this little scene. This is just a piece of the DSP, which is just, isn't it cute? So let's go ahead and attach that to my card here. And I just cut this out. There's like, I'll show you. In the DSP, there's several little scenes. And then there's also some die cuts. There's 2 sheets of die cuts that come in here. Okay, so there's like this little scene here, and then there's these pieces here. So it's really fun paper, and then cute pattern on the back. Ooh, somebody's in a chilly Northern Ireland. Oh, how fun. Or I bet that's Kim. I believe she lives in that chilly Northern Ireland. It's hot and steamy here. It's not, well, it's not as hot as it's been, but it's steamy for sure. Okay, so there we go. Oh, shoot. Kidding. Just kidding. Actually, no, it's going to be fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's all okay. Okay, now on here, we've got this cute little, I don't know, is it a bear? A bear fairy? She's all dressed up for Halloween. So this is one of the die cut pieces that comes in that sheet I mentioned. There's a whole bunch of die cut pieces. So we're just going to put her right here. But here's where, if you used up your die cut pieces and didn't have any more DSP, you could stamp and cut out one of these little trick-or-treaters from the Spooky Halloween. Okay, and then the Fright Night has 1, 2, 3 stamps that you can stamp on this banner. So I die cut the banner because the banner is in part of the dies. And we're going to stamp Trick or Treat on here. Luckily, my husband brought back the heat tool he borrowed from me. All right, and I gotta grab my tweezers here. So I'm gonna use my little embossing buddy and some Versamark ink to stamp my Trick or Treat. And I just love that it fits on here. So cute. There we go. And white powder. Kim, can I come visit you someday? That is 100% on my bucket list of places to go. I bet there's several on here who would love to visit Northern Ireland. I'm guessing Northern Ireland is probably pretty far north. And maybe not part of the heat wave if there's a heat wave in the UK. I saw Princess Kate at the Wimbledon she and her sweet little daughter had fans, which was cute. Okay, so now I'm going to put my little Trick or Treat on here. Smell my feet, give me something good to eat. Like that. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, seriously. All right, then on the inside, so we've got two So on the inside, I wanted to cover this up, and then right here, I want to do a little bit. Let's see. First off, I need to get this little speckly, whatever-y stamp. And we're going to stamp the background in Petunia Pop. Let's see. And I love this little speckle because it's not like your typical. Okay, that looks pretty good. We're going to cover the center area up, so I don't need all of it to be covered. I think we're good. One more. Have you ever like, one more, just one more, one more. Okay, and then I'm going to open this up. Now I've also got 2 layers. This one is 3.5 by 4 3/4 and 3 5/8 by 4 7/8 in black. And you can see I die cut that label out of the center. We're going to use that here in just a minute. But I want to add to this the word eek. And just need a little liquid glue to attach this. Oh my gosh, this. You guys are gonna laugh at me. This is my official tool. It's a paper clip to get the little glue booger out of here. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. And then we want to make sure the glue booger doesn't like get anywhere we don't want it. So now we're gonna, there we go. The booger's out, so we're good to go. Okay, and I know you guys are just at home going, I know what she means. But sometimes it like shoots out an excess of glue and then you're mad. I bet y'all know what I mean by that as well. Okay, so I die cut eek. And then there's a little spider. So I'm just gonna take my little, I've got this, whatever you call this thing. What is this? T-square. And, oh, sugar. It's getting caught on my eek. Eek! Give that a second to set up. Eek! Oh, that's why it's upside down. I'm like, why isn't it catching? Okay, so what I want to do is use this as a straight line for my marker. Oh dear. I'm pulling my marker out and the cap came off. I'm like, that's not good. I think this is my old style marker, but we'll let it work. Okay. And I'm just grabbing a little bit more paper here. Okay. So I've got everything lined up with my T-square. I'm just going to draw a straight line down with my marker for my little spider. And we'll glue dot that on. All of this is from the Fright Night, the eek and the spider. That is kind of a scary looking spider. Oh my gosh, you guys, at our cabin, there was a spider. There's lots of bugs up there, which drives me crazy. Anyway, there was a spider and I tried to kill it and then the babies came off. Deb, if you're watching, you would have died. Like, died. Deb does not like spiders. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this over the top. And then, of course, you'll be able to write on this layer on the inside of our card. And okay. So we'll adhere that in. What is this? Like so. Oh, So cute. Okay. Then, don't worry, there's more. All right, so on here, what I wanted to do is do a little ink blending. So we've got our petunia pop, we've got some probably pumpkin pie and peach pie. So I'm gonna use those colors to do a little ink blending. You could also, you could do some other colors too if you wanted to bring in, oh, here's my, where's my petunia pop? It's right here. Now, they were tiny, Judy, so don't worry. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. Tiny. I mean, like little dots. Like this big is how big those babies were. But still, I'd never actually seen that happen in person, and I was just like, "Wah!" All right, so I've got my ink blending brushes. And I just want to ink blend some color on a little scrap of basic white cardstock here. And I'm not too concerned about how perfect or imperfect this is in terms of coloring. I just want to get some color on here. So I'm not looking for a super smooth gradient or anything like that. I just want to add some color to this piece. So we started with our peach pie, and now we're doing pumpkin pie, of course. So we're going from summer to fall. Gosh, if I was using Berry Burst, we'd be even better off, but it could be like a pie, a pie bonanza. But no, we're gonna finish it off with petunia pop. And, you know, once again, I'm not real concerned about the color being super even or, you know, a nice pretty gradient. I just want to get my color on here. Also wishing I would have left a little bit more room for my petunia, but it's going to be okay. That looks pretty good. A little more petunia on here. Deborah says that happened to me at school last year, and the teacher who was freaking. Oh, you were the teacher, Deborah? Is that what you're saying? That's kind of funny. I'm so sorry. It is just yeah, scary. Okay, now what I want to do is take my big old stamp here and stamp this on top, and then we're going to die cut it. All right, so I'm going to take my Memento ink pad. Now this is a white uninked ink pad that I have re-inked. Instead of the white ink, I've re-inked it with black Memento re-inker, and that creates this glorious ink pad. And I'm just going to stamp that down. Gosh, I hope I left enough room at the top. Ha-ha! Stamps so nicely. And then we're going to take the die and die cut this. So I'm going to use, there's two kind of labels like this. I'm going to use the smaller of the two. And I don't know if this will even stick because it's probably kind of wet ink still, but we'll give it a try. So I'm just going to line that up and then try and hold it in place. Yep, I think we're good. Oh, nope. Kidding. Hold on. We'll get this on here. Maybe it'll just stick to the plastic cutting plate. Run it through my machine. Oh my gosh, I have a random thing I gotta share with you too. Oh, look at how fun that is. Okay, so we're gonna do that and spritz. I mean, course. And then I think we should probably spritz the front of this too. I mean, just seems like the right thing to do. Because everything is more magical when it's spritzed. And since we're at it, we're going to just do her wings. Her cute little fairy wings. Because we can. Okay. Then this is going to be adhered to the larger. Remember, I die cut that out of that layer. And we're going to put that right here. So cute. Oh my gosh. Kenzie says, I assumed the spiders were computer generated. Yeah, I was like, man, I even said to my husband, I was like, that spider, that mama spider is fat. And then when I smushed her, the babies came out all over the place, and that was a bad idea. As you can imagine. Okay, so we've got Cutie Patootie, Fright Night, eek, on the inside. And we should probably just make the spider a little less scary by making him sparkly, don't you think? I probably could have done that before I adhered him in, because that would be just a little easier. But I love, love, love the look of Clear Wink Estella on top of black cardstock. It's just amazing. I'm trying super hard not to get any on the background just because it will look a little fancier. But there we go. So fun. Okay, so he's a little less scary now that he's sparkly. So there we go. And I just feel like this needs one more little touch of something. Now we have this new ribbon. It's called, let's see, Petunia Pop iridescent ribbon. Oh, I was thinking it was something fancier. And I just feel like we need some of that on here, but I just don't know where we would put it. Maybe I can put it just a little bow, like as a decoration on the top here. Let's see if that would work. I just feel like it needs a little something. I don't know about you. Have you guys ever seen the movie Working Girl with Harrison Ford and Melanie Griffith? It's probably an 80s movie. There's a scene where she's getting dressed and her friend goes, it needs some bows or something. And she says it in a nice East Coast accent. And I always think of that when I think a card needs a bow. I don't know if I've ever told you guys that. But I thought maybe you'd find that funny. Judy says nothing makes spiders better. I know. Okay, I hope this looks like a little decoration, because we've got all these like garlands up here. So we're going to add that. Right there. Okay. Oh my gosh, so cute. So there you have it. A really fun Halloween card. All right, now let's come back to our watercolor paper. Oh, here our clouds are drying. I can feel my paper is still wet. So what I want to do is give it some heat. So I start with the back because our Fluid 100, the 100 means it's 100% cotton paper. It is going to absorb water, whereas maybe other types of watercolor paper that are made out of wood pulp, they don't absorb the water as much, so it just dries on the surface and typically dries faster. Cotton, because it soaks into the paper, takes longer to dry. So you can see like these areas where we kind of made our little cloud-like shapes dried off a little faster because we took away some of the water that was there. But it's also kind of interesting, especially with, because we're using ink versus paint, you can kind of see some of the lines come through here, which makes a great sky. But I will say paint is even better. If you know, you know, right? Okay, now we want it good and dry. Feels pretty good. Oh, the pink bow does make it. I agree. It does. I think it's pretty awesome. Okay, so here is my paper. And now the best part of this is I can kind of choose whichever section of it I like the best for my stamping. And so I'm going to take and trim this. Yeah, I'm using my old guillotine. And I think I'm going to go about there. And then I want a 3 3/4 inch hunk. Okay, and then I've got these 2 leftover pieces. So I can use them for different things. I'm going to trim this one down just a bit more. And then I can put this on the inside of my card. Okay, so I think I want to use a crumb cake card base. But we're also going to put a layer of black on here. So this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Ugh, let's see, that piece is funny looking. Here we go. It wasn't cut quite right. There we go. Oh, yes. All right, and I want to take, where did my stamp set go? Oh, so which set, I feel like we should use this big wispy piece. It's just pretty. Okay, and look, already trimmed this bad boy down. So let me grab my block. Ooh, I think we're gonna need something bigger. Ooh, we're gonna need something really big. All right, I gotta stand up so I can reach my background stamp block. Okay. Kenzie said, when is my next watercolor event? It must be soon. It is, Kenzie. I have watercolor week next week, all week long. There's a link in the description of this video for you if you would like to join us. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so I feel like we're going to just stamp that right there. We might use this other stamp a little bit as well. Now, I also love that there's cattails in this. What do you guys call these? I would call this a cattail, I think. But let me know if you call it something else where you live. Okay, let's grab that scrap paper once again. Now here's where I love that black memento. And that's why we had to make sure our card was completely dry, because if you stamp on this, you want the image to remain really crisp. Ooh, Kenzie calls them bulrushes. Oh my, I've never heard of that. Okay. So I'm just going to have that kind of hanging off the side and stamping down. Now this is what I call a stamp of faith. I got to stamp straight down, give it good pressure, make sure that it can like release the ink onto the paper. So that's why I'm pressing for a good amount of time. And then lift it up and, oh, how pretty is that? Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay, So there's a bunch of sentiments in our set here. And just grabbing a little, I don't know if I want to use that. I might use, I might just use some of our paper, watercolor paper, but not that piece, I'll scrap. Here is a scrap that I can use. Yeah, I don't think I want to add, well, I guess I could, I don't know. I don't want to mess it up because I like what I have so far. Okay, but there's a bunch of different sentiments that come in this stamp set. So we've got So Very Sorry, My Shoulder's Yours, Sending the Healing Power of Love, You're Not Alone, I'm Here for You, Sometimes Life is Just Hard. By the way, does that look like the word whole, not here? I'm whole for you, not quite what you want. You're Not Alone, I'm Here for You. I think that might be a really nice little sentiment to put on here. I haven't used that yet. So let's pull that out of our case. And I definitely need to trim this down because that is one of my bugaboos that I'm actually pretty uptight about, is trimming rubber on stamps. You've seen me do it, I'm sure. Unless this is the first time you've seen me live. Okay. So I'm just going to stamp this onto my card in black. Like that. And I wonder, could we die cut that? So I could do that. Will that fit? Ooh, it will. A little tight though. Or I do not know where my textured note dies are. I wonder if they are someplace else. They're not where they're supposed to be. Let's see. Oh, maybe this one. I just think, is it going to cut? I think it might be okay. We might be able to make this work. Oh, and it's, you know what? I'm going to cut this and then we're going to stamp it because it smears. Do you see that? No bueno. Let me quick cut this. Okay. That's one little trick, is that it does smear. Okay. Now let's heat this baby. To set the ink so it doesn't smear, because we do not want to ruin our card. And I know I had a, did it smear because it's watercolor paper? Yes. It just takes a little longer to dry on watercolor paper. And I'm not 100% sure it's dry yet, but we shall see. Now, I'm not opposed to changing the color of my card base, by the way, because I grabbed a crumb cake card base, but maybe we want like Berry Burst on here. I know we used Petunia Pop, but, and also got some black baker's twine. In the essentials pack, we used some of the crumb cake earlier. This would be one that my dog got into. But we just need a little bit of baker's twine here. You can see the puppy teeth marks. And then I've got just this little ring. Let me make it just a teensy bit bigger. And then we're gonna, oh, I knew that was gonna happen. We're gonna kind of smooch it and then it will show through. Just adds a little extra something something. And I think that did actually dry when we heat set it, so that's good. And we put it on crooked, so let's see if we can fix that. Goodness. There we go. Okay. So we did use Petunia Pop, but I think Berry Burst might look a little better for our card base, but we will see. Give that a good crease, or I'm sorry, good adhesive. Like that. Oh, so beautiful. And then, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Berry Burst? Oh yeah, that's much better, don't you think? I guess we've had kind of a purple theme for our cards today. They've all had one shade or another of a purple, a pinky purple in them. But when it's good, it's good. Oh, so pretty. What do you guys think of this? I really like how it's looking. So gorgeous. Now, of course, we need to put a little shimmer on it. Oh, goodness, we're kind of running late today, but that's okay because we're having fun. And I had to tell you the story about the storm and the power and the gabillion miles. It's totally a word. What did I do with my good spritzer? Oh, is that it? I put it, no, I don't know if this is it or not. I've got like one really good one, and then, oh, this one's pretty good. And then a couple that are like pretty dead. Okay. Oh yes, lots of good shimmer. All right, and then I don't know if I'm even gonna put any dimension or embellishments on here. I'm not sure it needs it. But on the inside of my card, I can put something. So I'm gonna grab a piece of cardstock. Now you could use white or vanilla because watercolor paper is sort of a combination of the two colors. And I'm going to just take and add this. And then I've got that panel. Remember, we saved this piece. So what I'm gonna do is stamp this little image on here, and then that kind of carries the design through. Okay, so it's not, you know, perfect. We're actually gonna stamp that one more time. There we go. So I did use a panel of white. And now it coordinates on the inside and the outside. Okay, so you're not alone. I'm here for you. Where did my stamp set go? I feel like we haven't. So we could do sending the healing power of love or so very sorry, or sometimes life is just hard. We could stamp any of those on the inside. I'm going to do the healing power of love because that's nice. Who wouldn't like that? sentiment on the inside of this type of a card. Okay. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the inside here. And voila, so pretty. Okay, so let's look at our projects from today. We made a nice good mess. Must mean we did something good. Now we still have this piece. This piece left over is great for die cutting shapes, so hold on to this. You can do all kinds of different things with this. It's a good piece. Then we have our cute little Halloween trifold that we made. And then we have this beautiful coneflower card. So gorgeous. So I hope you had fun. If you need any of the supplies to make these projects, I'd be so grateful if you shopped my online store. There's links in the description of this video. It also helps me so much when you like my video and subscribe to my channel so that you can enjoy more awesome content just like this. Don't forget to get registered for our watercolor week. It starts 1 week from yesterday, Monday the 21st, and we will have amazing content. It's all free. You can also get a kit of supplies if you'd like in the registration. And I've got some fun surprises in my little box for you. And we are just going to have the best time. So I can't wait to paint with you next week. Have a fantastic rest of your week, friends. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.